Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday the 7th of May 2022. And it wasn't going to happen, was it? And it didn't. We lost at Bournemouth 1-0, and even if we would have won, the other results went against us except for one, which was Middlesbrough losing. So, yeah, it wasn't going to happen, and it didn't. So, this is the match report from newsatend.co.uk, but before we get into that, let's have a look at how the fixtures go. And of all the 4 games involved in the playoff race, all 4 of them were won by the home team. Bournemouth beating Millwall 1-0. Luton Town winning 1-0. Did you see that? What was that? What was that about? Was that have you seen the goal that Luton scored? Can I say the word betting scam? That was a bit how you say? I don't know if you haven't seen it, go and see it. But you remember back in the day on the bloopers video where there was a goalkeeper who's got the ball in his hands, everyone else is up the pitch, but there's a secret player hiding behind him and he doesn't see him. So he rolls the ball on the ground in front of him, ready to kick it long, and then the player behind him sneaks in front of him and takes the ball sideways and taps it into the net while the goalkeeper's scrambling. Yeah, that's what Reading did today, which is isn't that very interesting? Like seriously, how does that still happen in this day and age? Unless it was a scam. So maybe the fraud squad can have a look at the goalkeeper's finances and see if he got a little payment this week. But yeah, so Luton beat Reading and Preston North End beat Middlesbrough 4-1. And Sheffield United smashed Fulham 4-0. So all 4 games, 4 home wins. So just goes to show how important home advantage is. And that leaves the table looking like this. We actually dropped a place. We went from 8th to 9th. Blackburn Rovers go ahead of us on goal difference of 1 goal. But the numbers don't look too bad. If you look at the defeats, we've only had 13 defeats, which isn't that far off. It's the same as Sheffield United and Luton. It's just the draws and wins. If we just got to try and convert some of those draws into wins, and then we'll be there or thereabouts. So yeah, there we are. We're 9th. And it turns out obviously Luton winning, Sheffield United winning. Nothing really we could have done anyway. If we would have drawn against Bournemouth, we would have finished 7th. I think. No, we wouldn't. Yeah, no, we would. We wouldn't, because it would have went to goals scored. Yeah, if we drew against Bournemouth 1-1, we would have had a goal difference of 9, which is the same as Middlesbrough. So, and we would have had 70 points, same as Middlesbrough. So then it would go to goal scored, and they've got 59, we've got 53. So if we would have drawn against Bournemouth, we would have finished 8th where we were. We would have beat Middlesbrough, we would have finished 7th. So it's getting better, isn't it? It's better than last season. To take it down to the last game, or even though it was kind of technically possible, it wasn't actually possible. And we were always on the outside trying to break in. We never really got into the playoff places, even for like a week or two. We were always on the outside, just about to break in, and then we get a defeat, and then we slip back down. So, but I'm sure we'll get into that in videos later on in the close season. So let's get back to the match report from newsatend.co.uk. Mill's playoff bid ended on the last day as they lost 1-0 at Premier League bound AFC Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium. Kiefer Moore's strike 9 minutes from time was enough to earn all 3 points for the Cherries as Mill missed out on his championship top 6. Mill started brightly and almost carved out a chance inside 5 minutes. Jake Cooper met George Saville's free kick, but his header fell just short of Benik Afobe. The host replied, Robbie Brady curling an effort over the bar as he settled into the game. On 18 minutes, Bartosz Białkowski was called into action. Some poor defending allowed Emiliano Marcondes to drift in unmarked, but he could not get past the line stopper. Mill had their best chance of the half on 33 minutes as Saville's cross found Sean Hutchinson at the back post, but he couldn't hit the target. With results going against his side, Lions boss Gary Rowett opted for a system change at the break, switching to a 4-3-3. Murray Wallace was replaced by Mikel Keftenbeld. Danny McNamara went to left back as the visitors switched to 4 in defence. Saville wanted a penalty in the 54th minute after he went down in a challenge from Nat Phillips, but there was no movement from a referee, Andre Mariner. Hutchinson had to be alert to block Dominic Solanke's effort as the home side searched for the opening goal. The Cherries thought they had taken the lead on 62 minutes. Marcondes had the ball in the net, but the Lions were given a reprieve as the assistant referee's flag was raised for offside. Jordan Zamora then went past 2 Mill defenders before seeing his shot come off his own man and out for a goal kick. Saville had to go from distance, which Mark Travers easily kept out. As the game entered the final 10 minutes, Bournemouth took the lead. A quick throw-in found Moore, who raced through one-on-one with Białkowski before firing the host in front. Keftenbeld tried his luck from outside the box but could only shoot wide as the Lions couldn't find a late equaliser. Yes. I watched the game. I went to the den and watched the beanbag. We did alright. We were doing alright. We had a few chances. We were full of energy in the first half. We concentrating a lot, defending very well. We had a few chances going forward, not clear cut enough. Probably not able to break down Bournemouth. They were defending very well, quite deep as well. And I don't want to criticise, but bizarre decision to play Danny McNamara at left back. No, I love Danny McNamara, but I think in that first half, against a quality team like Bournemouth, you could see with Gary Rowett what his complaints about Danny McNamara were earlier in the season. That going forward, he doesn't really do enough. He could be doing more. We need more output from him going forward, because against a quality team like Bournemouth, he had a lot of the ball going down that right hand side, and we weren't really getting anywhere with it. He wasn't really doing anything with it. So I can see why Gary Rowett's saying Danny McNamara needs to be more attacking. But moving Danny McNamara to left back, I don't know, and taking Murray Wallace off, that was very weird. Very, very weird. I don't know what that was about. Did Murray Wallace have a knock? I don't know. And as soon as we started making substitutions to try and go to attack more, that's when it kind of fell apart. We were the first ones to make the substitutions, and I don't know if they responded to our substitutions or if they already had theirs lined up, but Bournemouth made the couple of substitutions, one, and then a few minutes later another one, and after that it was like wave after wave coming at us. Couldn't really do anything about it. Just getting caught on the counter all the time, and we were bombing forward with too many men, and the chances weren't being clear cut, or we weren't really making anything out of them. And every time our attack broke down, we would get countered, and it would be very scary until obviously they ended up scoring, and that was it. That was it. So, talking points. The season comes to an end on the South Coast as Mill failed to hold up to their side of the deal. The Lions knew before the game that they had to win to have any chance of gate crashing a playoff bye. Unfortunately, despite a performance that more than matched that of the league's runners-up, they couldn't find the breakthrough, and in the end were hit by a sucker punch from a former transfer target in Moore, who scored the goal that sealed Bournemouth's promotion on Tuesday night. Around half an hour in, it became clear that Luton would be the team Millwall could catch, with Sheffield United taking a 3-0 lead against champions Fulham. Yeah, Fulham really didn't show up today. However, on the brink of half-time, Nathan Jones' side took the lead against Reading, which was enough to seal their place in the playoffs, regardless of what Millwall did. Yeah, that comical guide I was telling you about. Really, try and find it and have a look at it. It's dodgy as fuck. It's been another season of progress for the South Londoners, building on last season's 11th place finish. Numerous vital players have been out with injuries, but what has been obvious has been the togetherness of the squad. It is something that has served the team well and getting to the last day with a chance of getting into the top 6. Likely this summer will now see a significant squad overall. Jed Wallace is out of contract, as are Alex Pearce, Mikel Keftenbeld and Connor Mahoney. Shea Ojo, Dan Ballard, Benik Foe, Oliver Burke and Luke Freeman will return to their parent clubs. It is a big rebuilding job and not a lot of time to do it, as the season starts at the end of July this year due to the Qatar World Cup taking place in November. Jed Wallace's Millwall farewell. No one of a Millwall persuasion will argue that Jed Wallace hasn't been Millwall's best player over the last 5 years. The previous 3 seasons have been standouts for the former Wolves. In Portsmouth attacker, he has improved as a player consistently, has been Millwall's go-to man for so long. A leader in the dressing room, someone well respected and looked up to, will be a significant loss for the football club. Lions boss Garrett opted not to start Wallace, but he was brought on in the 58th minute. The great applause from the visiting supporters. He brought much attacking energy and intent. Unfortunately, that spark was not enough to get the Lions a share of the spoils or more. At the end of the game, he embraced with the Mill fans, who gave him a massive ovation as he looked set to depart SC16 with no contract agreed upon. And the team news: Rowetts made one change to the side that beat Peterborough 3-0. As Mason Bennett replaced Tom Bradshaw, and it was Biakowski, McNamara, Leonard, Hutchison, Cooper, Murray Wallace, Saville, Mitchell, Bennett, Burke and Fobe. And Bradshaw came on for Leonard in the 75th minute. Keithenbell came on for Murray Wallace at half time, and Jed Wallace came on for Bennett in the 58th minute. And the substitutes not used were along Pearce, Evans and Bury. So there you have it. There's the match report. And I think Mason Bennett coming off as well was a bit of a, because there was no one really to hold the ball up front, so that's probably why it kept coming straight back down. Okay, so let's move on to what Garrett said after the match. So Mill boss Garrett reveals what he told his players after final day anguish at Bournemouth, and this is from news@den.co.uk. Garrett told his players not to be downhearted after their playoff bid ended on the last day. Their 1-0 defeat at AFC Bournemouth. Even if the Lions had won, they wouldn't have made the top 6, as Sheffield United defeated Fulham and Luton won against Reading. It's been a tough season in many ways. We've had to work incredibly hard, a lot harder than we normally would have to in a season, just to find ways to win games, Ralph said. It's been very difficult to get a settled team, to get the best team out, but the team found a way because they've got such character and such hunger and drive. Even today, I thought we gave the game a really good go. We had to change the formation 2 or 3 times. I thought we started really well. There wasn't an awful lot in the game. We had to chase it. We had to open up. Kiefer Moore capitalised on that with a bit of quality. We had other moments when we should have done better and break away. It's disappointing, but I don't think the result made much difference today because the other results were going against us. But a good season. I've said that to the players in there. Don't be downhearted. We'll still be very proud of what we've achieved. As a manager, I'm always going to be a little bit more miserable because I want to get into the top 6. It's as simple as that. But for the players, they've given everything, in the staff. To be honest, I can't really ask for more than from them, and that's that. So there you go. So what is going to happen now? This season's finished, and of course everyone looking for next season. The club's selling season tickets already. I think there's 2 weeks to go for the Super Saver or Saver or something like that. Big summer. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall manager Gary Rowett on transfer window. Gary Rowett has talked about Millwall facing a big summer in the transfer market. The Lions finished 9th in the Championship and completed their campaign with a 1-0 loss at AFC Bournemouth this afternoon. They all face the prospect of losing star attacker Jed Wallace, who was out of contract this summer. They have already cleared space in their squad with the January exits of Matt Smith and Jon Dadibod-Varson. Conor Mahoney will be released, and Menikophobia and Oliver Berg will return to parent clubs Stoke and Sheffield United, respectively. Rowett revealed after today's fixture that club captain Alex Pearce is set to move on with midfielder Mikael Caftenbeld also in the final weeks of his terms. Alex Aldridge returned to the Lions in March as Director of Football Operations and Recruitment. Harvey Bussell, who had been the head of recruitment, left at the end of February. Asked about the plans to bolster his squad this season, Rowett said, "We don't work to a specifically set budget. That's not how John Berylson has worked in the past." Well, I thought you had to. Isn't that what financial fair play is all about? I think there is a limit. Obviously, Alex has come into the head of recruitment up, along with other things. What John always tried to do is the best for the club. So if the club needs backing and we need to bring players in, more often than not, he has done that. I'll know a little bit more over the next couple of weeks. Like I've said, it's a big couple of weeks. John has been fantastic since I've been here, so whatever he wants to do, we'll work as hard as we can to achieve the best possible scenario. It's clear there is a big summer ahead of us, and that summer might need a little bit of investment in one or two players. I've been in the Championship for a long time. I don't think there have been many seasons I haven't been up and around those places, so we've got plenty of experience doing it. Challenge is always how do you take that next step. Sometimes that is a little bit of quality that unfortunately in this division doesn't come along cheaply. I'd love to say it does, but it doesn't. We'll have to develop players, and we'll have to get players in that maybe haven't done as well like we have done previously, but we'll also have to recruit well. Indeed, a big summer of recruitment coming up. And like I said in previous videos, Sheffield United are in the playoffs, obviously. If the club have maybe want to sign Oliver Berg, maybe on a season-long loan next season, if Sheffield United were to get promoted, they probably won't have any use for Oliver Berg in the Premiership. So they might be willing to let him go out on loan for a season, or maybe just try and get rid of him. So we could probably try and look to get that to our advantage there. If they've got any players who aren't Premiership standard, that they might be willing to loan, because they're obviously going to be odds-on favourites to go back down and get relegated. Whoever comes up through the playoffs. So if they loan their players out who they might want back, they get relegated to the Championship the season after next season. That might be an option we could take. So we've just heard in that story about Alex Pearce, and here we have the actual separate story from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Mill boss confirms defender set to leave. Gary Rowett has admitted that it's unlikely that Mill club captain Alex Pearce will still be at their club next season. The Lions skipper is out of contract this summer after his initial deal in South London was extended by 12 months last summer. The former Derby defender has made 64 appearances for Millwall in all competitions over 2 stints at the club. Rowett told the South London Press, "I spoke to Pearcey, and it will be difficult for us to offer him anything for next season. He's typified our season. He's been absolutely incredible. He's led when he hasn't played loads. He came in against Coventry and was absolutely phenomenal as a leader. There's not many players like Pearcey. What I would say is that there should be a lot of clubs out there looking at Alex Pearce, because what he can do is galvanise your dressing room, show leadership. He's one of very few players left like that, and he's also a very good footballer. So we'll have options this summer. But for every team, you sometimes have to move forward in a different way, and Pearcey understands that." Indeed. And we're going to finish with this. I gave him a big hug. Mill boss on potential departure of Talisman and big transfer overhaul. So this is from news@den.co.uk. Gary Rowett wants new signings early in the summer to give him the chance to work with the squad ahead of next season. There is set to be a big overhaul of the Lions squad, with 5 loanees going back to their parent clubs, Alex Pearce and Conor Mahoney leaving, and others such as Jed Wallace out of contract. Rowett was asked after the 1-0 defeat at Bournemouth on the final day if he expects big changes. We have to, I think we're going to lose a lot of quality from our team this summer, Rowett said. Potentially the likes of Jed, Bennett, Berkey, people like that. They're not easy to replace for us. We've got a little bit of room to manoeuvre, I've said it before. We have to make good signings this summer. We have to work incredibly hard. We changed the way we recruit a little bit, and we have to get players in as quick as we can so that we can work with them for the whole of pre-season. That's our biggest challenge, and we're going to work as hard as we can to achieve that. That is another point. That is a very good point. So obviously in previous transfer windows, we get players in late on transfer deadline day, which it's exciting. You got something to get excited about along with everyone else, because everyone else is watching all the media and stuff saying, "Oh, who are we going to sign? Who are we going to sign?" And then when you sign someone, it's like, "Well, that's not good for the football club," because how often we've seen we sign these players and then they're not match fit, then they have to get fit, and like, but you're paying the wages of the geezer and he's not doing anything because he's not match fit. So you're signing him on loan for 6 months, but you can only get 4 months work out of him. Not the best. So if we can get them in early, that would be very good. That's our biggest challenge, and we're going to work as hard as we can to achieve that. Rowett was asked if it was Jed Wallace's last game for the club. He said, "I don't know. I think it's him saying there is a possibility of that by going to the away fans after the game. He's earned the right with his performances over a long period of time. He's earned the right to have options in the summer. He's a top quality championship player who I know can play at different levels of the game. He'll have options. It's up to him, and he's earned the right to do it. For his family, he has to make whatever he thinks is the right one. He loves the club. He loves the fans. I think it will be a difficult decision, but the chances are he might not be here the next season. If he is, fabulous, that's one less problem to worry about, but if he's not, then they are big boots to fill." So good luck to him. I give him a big hug in there as well. I say he's been fabulous for me. Whatever he does will be the right decision for him. He's got Premier League quality. On a free transfer, there will be a hell of a lot of teams looking at him to add him to their squad. The challenge for us is they're not easy to replace. What you don't want to do is be weaker after the season we've just had. You want to be stronger. Indeed, not only that, if we can keep the players fit, that should be better as well. If we can just not have so many bloody injuries, that would be fantastic. One thing to note, probably talk about it more tomorrow or Monday probably, is so Isaac Loffey scored for Sutton United as they beat Harrogate 2-0. But they missed out on the playoffs. They finished 8th instead of 7th, and they missed out on the League 2 playoffs. So Sutton United are still in League 2 and out of the playoffs, which is a shame, because that would have given me something to talk about in the future videos. But now that is not going to happen. And also today the under-18s played at Barnsley. Barnsley put the game on at their stadium, which was nice of them. I think because their team made it into the playoffs, so that was good that the under-18s could play in a proper football stadium. And Millwall ended up winning 2-1. They were 2-0 ahead, and it ended up finishing 2-1. So that was good. Tom Leahy getting a goal there, and SA as well. Yeah. So, wasn't to be. Didn't work out. The performance was decent until we tried to actually go gung-ho and score, and then we got done on the counter. Fantastic defending. I mean, Hutchinson was fantastic. Bart made some very good saves as well. But it just wasn't to be. Bournemouth defended very well as well, which made it difficult for us to actually score. So yeah, finishing 9th, not that bad. 6 points off the playoffs, which doesn't really tell the whole story, does it? In future years to come, you'll look at that table and think, well, they were 6 points off the playoffs, but we were there or thereabouts on that. We got it to the last game of the season. We got it to the last game of the season. We really need to improve our away form next season. Don't know how we're going to do that, but it needs to be done. maybe a style of playing or something. I don't know. But anyway, here we go. Season done. Summer starts now. Transfer speculation. Stick with the channel. Come back every day. I'll try and squeeze at least a video out every day. I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about, but I'm sure there'll be some nonsense to talk about. And on that note, talking of nonsense, thank you for watching and